What is the reality of vocal for local? Atmanirbhar or import nirbhar? How different is the political rhetoric from the actual reality? On one hand, we are being asked to promote and look out for vocal for local. But on the other hand, we are importing yellow peas from Russia and Canada, flooding our markets and making our farmer incomes slash into exactly half. So is this about Atmanirbhar Bharat or is it just merely a political show? Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh and today we are going to understand this contradictory situation that we are in when we are talking about being self-dependent, we are talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat, but at the same time the import of yellow peas, which has been in place since 2003, is cutting down the whole idea. Now let us try to understand this in detail, starting with what exactly is the contradictory nature that we are talking about. Let me simplify that. तो यहाँ पर अगर हम बात करें recent times में, स्पेशली जब से हमने ग्लोबल क्योस देखा है, चाहे हम टैरिफ वॉर्स की बात करें या जो हम पे टैरिफ लगाया गया उसकी बात करें या फिर हम वॉर्स की वजह से जो प्राइस का फ्लक्चुएशन है उसकी बात करें, तो काफ़ी ज़्यादा जोर दिया गया है स्वदेशी पे. There has been a lot of emphasis on Swadeshi, promoting the local goods, local manufacturing, local consumption, local expenditure, and in short, we have been talking about make vocal for local. Now, this call has been given by our Prime Minister as well, but at the same time, government has an import policy in place which absolutely contradicts its own message. So, what's the point of saying vocal for local if it is not being actually implemented by government policies itself? So, it makes it more like that it has been just a rhetoric, political rhetoric that has been set in place, but in real groundwork where the basic pillars of our economy, our Indian farmers, are not being supported. So, in this very situation, we also have to understand that farmers are the ones which are bearing the brunt of this whole situation, because it not only undermines domestic pulse cultivation, it also hits their income. We'll understand in detail how it is being done. As of now, this issue has reached Supreme Court and here it is being addressed, but let us try to analyze the layers which lie in this issue. Starting with why exactly this whole controversy is in place. So, if we talk about December 2023, we basically waived off 50% customs duty which was on yellow peas. So, yellow peas are not pulses. Pulses जो है वो अरहर है, मूंग है. Yellow peas जो है इस पे जो import था वो हमने हटा दिया. और हमने क्यों हटाया? क्योंकि दाल प्राइसेस जो है वो हमारे देश में तेजी से बढ़ रहे थे. तो हमने यहाँ पे, क्योंकि सप्लाई कम थी हमारे देश में, डिमांड ज़्यादा थी, सप्लाई वॉज लिमिटेड, डिमांड वॉज हाई, वी वॉन्टेड टू रेज द सप्लाई सो दैट वी कुड कंट्रोल द प्राइसेस. But remember, I am talking about December 2023, and as soon as we removed the custom duty, the imports increased, especially from Russia and Canada, and yellow peas became a very cheap substitute for regular Indian pulses, be it arhar, chana and moong. Now, farmers who were selling pulses for 7,000 to 8,000 per quintal, yellow peas came in at 3,500 rupees per quintal. That means this price was not feasible in the market, and that is why they also had to slash their prices in order to sell, and that is why farmers' incomes plummeted and also the market price collapsed. Market price collapsed, again, who is the sufferer? It is the farmer. Now, when we are talking about this whole situation, another component that comes in is the fact that how imports affected the Indian farmers. You must be trying to understand, apart from the fact that we are seeing the price. So, the first factor I have already explained, that we got yellow peas at 3,500 per quintal, and we have our regular Indian dals at 7,000 to 8,000 rupees per quintal, and this resulted in domestic pulses prices to be crashed, to be halved, and this happened because of the cheap imports which were facilitated by the government. Now let me present you with another data here. When we are talking about imports in the last year, we had 6.7 million tons of pulses, in which almost 2.9 million were yellow peas. Now again, this shows the amount of import that we are doing, especially in terms of yellow peas. Now it did not only affect the price of our pulses, affected the income of our farmers, but because the market price of pulses went down, we also saw that decline in MSP realization happened, and there was also fear that crop might be abandoned by the farmers as well as by the government. Can you tell me in the comment section what do we mean by MSP and on how many crops government announces MSP? So imagine the situation for a farmer who has produced, but in the market there is a cheaper alternate available for his produce, and this will lead to not a problem for just that farmer, but all the farmers who are involved in pulse production. This is exactly what, and in this situation, this is a direct crash-led agrarian distress. Now the question is, it is not just contradictory to aim of Atmanirbhar Bharat, we have a national mission for pulses as well. Atmanirbhar Bharat mission for pulses as well, it is affecting that as well. So when we talk about pulses production, government has launched mission Atmanirbharta in pulses this very year. Even after that, when there was a cut in December 2023 on the 50% import duty, that has not been removed and it has been extended till March 2026. So at one place, we are trying to boost domestic production and reduce import dependency. But at the same time, we have not placed the safeguards. That means the import duties which are required for the realization of this goal. And this contradiction itself, where we are talking about Atmanirbharta and we are focusing on imports. So as I started this whole discussion with it, is it about Atmanirbharta or import nirbharta, or is it about a political narrative or a ground reality that we need to understand? Because we clearly get to see that India's agricultural policy is being sabotaged by its own import policy. तो यहाँ पे एक सिंपल सा कोलिजन दिख रहा है हमें एग्रीकल्चर पॉलिसी में और इम्पोर्ट पॉलिसी में, जो डायरेक्टली एटलीस्ट हमारे आत्मनिर्भरता को यहाँ पे डायरेक्टली क्रैश कर रहा है. अब हम यहाँ पे समझने की कोशिश करते हैं कि क्या इस चीज़ को अभी तक किसी ने बात नहीं की, सिर्फ किसानों के अलावा इससे किसी को फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है. नो, इट हैज़ बीन हाईलाइटेड, बट द सैड पार्ट इज we do not look into the nitty-gritties of these policies. We lack awareness. For such awareness, you can watch my videos daily. The new issues come up at 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. You can watch them and understand. So when we are talking about the opposition, the agricultural minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, he had explained this situation and he had written to Prahlad Joshi that he should consider rollback of the duty-free import. So agriculture minister has already highlighted this. Furthermore, CACP, that is Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices, which is responsible for recommendation of MSPs, they also talked about bringing back the import duties. इसके बावजूद अगर हम बात करें तो CBIC ने एक्सटेंड किया है एग्जेम्पशन 2026 तक और यहाँ पे कॉमर्स मिनिस्ट्री से अप्रूवल है. अब मिनिस्ट्रीज तो सारी एक गवर्नमेंट के अंदर ही हैं और अलग अलग मिनिस्ट्रीज अगर डिफरेंट डायरेक्शन में काम करेंगे तो यहाँ पे जो हम सेल्फ सफिशिएंसी की बात करें, सेल्फ डिपेंडेंसी की बात कर रहे हैं, वो काम होता हुआ नहीं दिखेगा. सो बेसिकली यहाँ पे इंट्रा मिनिस्ट्रियल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट जो है वो हमें सिर्फ एक चीज दिखा रहा है, वो है पॉलिसी इन कोहेरेंस. बट द एक्चुअल क्वेश्चन लाइज हियर दैट व्हाई गवर्नमेंट इज डूइंग दिस. If people within the government are also aware about it, why government is doing this? Government says that they want to control the high domestic prices, and that means they are trying to focus on protecting the consumers basically from high inflation. अगर ड्यूटी फ्री इंपोर्ट्स रहेंगे तो प्राइस स्टेबिलिटी बनी रहेगी और फूड इन्फ्लेशन जो है वो कंट्रोल में रहेगा। बट हमें ये भी समझना होगा कि शॉर्ट टर्म रिलीफ जो है ये लॉन्ग टर्म प्रोडक्शन, हमारी कंट्री के सेल्फ सफिशिएंसी को हार्म करेगा। और साथ ही साथ अगर हम बात करें 2017, दैट मीन्स आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट 8 years बैक फ्रॉम नाउ, क्रिसिल हैड ऑलरेडी हाईलाइटेड कि बम्पर प्रोडक्शन या फिर प्राइस फॉल जो है वो कंज्यूमर्स को रिलीफ ला सकते हैं बट फार्मर्स को नहीं। इसके लिए हमें पॉलिसी बैलेंस जो है नेसेसरी है, जरूरी है। एंड दैट लीव्स अस विद अ क्वेश्चन एंड फूड फॉर थॉट कि क्या जब हम यहाँ पर इंपोर्ट डिपेंडेंट है तो क्या इंडिया सेल्फ रिलायंट बन सकता है? ये येलो पी एपिसोड इज अ वेकअप कॉल वेयर वी जस्ट डू नॉट नीड द इमोशंस फॉर आत्मनिर्भर भारत, वी नीड रियल ground policy implementation, we need the coordination and coherence of ministries, then only we will be able to see the real future, the real results of Atmanirbhar Bharat. You let me know your thoughts on this, put it down in the comment section. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.